One of the things that fascinates me is the idea of taking sops that have a great deal of energy and making them very soft. Hard to do, of course, with pipes, but maybe easier to do with technology. In this case, the opposite is true. To take a very low energy stop like a French horn, which is incredibly smooth and sedate perhaps, and to make it quite loud. This is the so-called major French horn, and in this small room it sometimes has the effect of a kind of very mellow tuba. It's one of a series of French horns in the organ. The next one in the rear chamber is one of the little echo stops back there. It's a kind of echo French horn. There's a gorgeous English horn here. Then a Wurlitzer orchestral oboe, quite harsh and severe. It has a Celeste rank. To me, a very arresting and unusual sound, and actually one that combines very well with the big string sounds. Similarly, there's a clarinet Celeste. This is also derived from the same Wurlitzer sample, but in this case, of course, it's tuned just sharp enough that it gives a satisfactory Celeste with the native rank, but it can be used as a secondary clarinet on its own. Here it is with the native Celeste. Really beautiful sound, very seldom heard. There are a series of voxhumanas in the organ. Here's the first. And with tremulant. It has a voxhumana Celeste. The organ on which I recently recorded my second album, Cameron Live, the DVD, was recorded on a large Wurlitzer organ in the Hardman studio in Great Falls, Virginia, which has one of the last remaining physical voxhumana Celestes. It was interesting to see that it was useful in that organ as well, but much more difficult to keep in tune. There's then an echo voxhumana. That's the softest one in the organ. Here it is with the tremulant and 16 and 4. And an interesting sound is when the voxhumana Celeste is given the tremulant. There's a canura, one of two in the organ, in the echo section of the orchestral. This is from a Wurlitzer organ sample. There's also a canura in the solo division. These are purposefully detuned so that when they're put together, one can obtain a canura Celeste. There's a 4-foot Flugel horn which originated from a Skinner organ. This also has the 8-foot bass octave, which is accessible by the coupler. It also provides a really nice sort of soft reed chorus as the 4-foot reed when put with the 16 and the 8-foot in the orchestral. Definitely the smoothest of all the reed choruses. Then we get into the percussions, starting with the Wurlitzer Glockenspiel. We've also added a full compass glockenspiel to this. That would be extremely rare to find executed physically. Useful musically, though. There's a 4-foot celesta. In the back, there's also a dulcet still. The little voxhumana we heard before. And then the pairing of the two. Finally, there's the same fortissimo trumpet, a kind of festival trumpet, I suppose, but this time the 16-foot octave all the way to the bass. Which pairs, of course, with 16 and 8. The percussion group is a special alternate that functions as one stop but contains many different percussion instruments playable from keys, particularly in the registers where they might be most useful while doing other things with the organ, particularly the timpani, which is in the bass. Of course, easily coupleable to pedal. A single struck cymbal or a double cymbal. Snare drums in various dynamic gradations. That last one comes over full organ, but they're arranged in such a way, of course, that a typical keyboard gesture can give way to a typical expressive snare drum gesture. The same is true with these stop cymbals. Chinese gong. Even bass drum. 2 ratchets. Wind chimes. In 2 volumes. And even the suspended cymbal.